Right. So let me tell you that Jishnu is from National Hillview Public School. Nice to know this. Okay. Now that we all know each other very well, so let me tell you, children, that we have with us our mentor, Dr. Richa ma'am. So let us hear from her. All over to you, ma'am. Please introduce yourself to children. Sir, I think she's unable to unmute.
Okay, let me check. Ma'am, now you can unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Rajan sir. I was about to, ask you in the chat box that I'm not able to.
Okay.
Yes, hi kids. My name is Richa, Dr. Richa Tawar, and I'm going to be a mentor for this upcoming session. So I would actually recommend if any of you is not showing a beautiful face at the moment, please do so. All right. So kids, first of all, you should know why are we here. We are here to talk about Olympiad exams, right? Which subject? Maths, English, cyber? Which one? Quickly, let's see fastest finger first. Science, exactly, Jishnu. We are here to talk about Science Olympiad, and I hope all of you like science, right? It's a nice subject to know, right? Because it shows us what is happening in our day-to-day life. It enables us to relate with our surroundings, know why do we see things. But first of all, let's understand why Olympiad exams are important, because we all appear for exams in our school. Olympiad is little different from your regular school exam in the sense that here you'll be competing with the students from the same academic year as you guys, but across different city, across different countries. So the competition level is much bigger and difficult, as of course, right? So why is Olympiad important? Because Olympiad exams not only focus on the science or any subject score, fundamentals or topics, but it also requires you to analyze the problem and then think of a solution. You see, this is A, this is B, this is C, but how do you join them together and then come up with an answer? That's what Olympiad is all about. So what we're going to do in these classes that you're starting next week or so, we'll be learning our concept. We'll be revising what we did in our previous session, in our previous standard. We'll be covering up our entire grade 4 course. We'll be taking up part of grade 5 as well. Very good, Riansh. He secured 7th international rank, right? In grade 3, I suppose. So what other than this, what we'll be doing, covering up our topics and then learn how to apply it in our day-to-day life. I'll give you a quick example. All of us know that we have 8 planets in our solar system, right? Anyone who is not sure, please raise your hand. Right, we all know. But do we know that till 2006, and to be precise, August 24, 2006, there used to be 9 planets. Why did we drop the poor Pluto from the status of a planet? We know that it has been dropped, but why? Why? Because if you love science, first thing that should come up within mind is why, for everything, why? That's because a committee was formed. Yes, it's a dwarf planet, but Rishabh, who decided it? So prior to that, we didn't have any criteria to fulfill that this is planet. Now we know for sure there has to be 3 rules which needs to be followed for it to be called a planet. First, it has to revolve around the sun or the star in a proper orbit. Second, it has to be spherical. And third, it has to clear its neighborhood of all other celestial beings other than the planet itself and its satellite. Now, problem with Pluto is it is coming in the path of Neptune for exactly 20 years. Out of 248 years it takes to revolve around the sun. Imagine 248 years. And out of that, it spends 20 years in the path of Neptune. So we don't call it a planet anymore. This is what we'll be discussing in detail and much more in these classes, right? So I'll ask Rajan sir to go ahead and show you the platform, get familiar with it, and then we'll continue with the class, right?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, children, let me give the opportunity to share my screen so that I can give you a very short informative PPT, and you can note down if you want any information which you find relevant. Just a second.
Adhyasha, in the meantime, like if shared, you can't hear us, you can rejoin, okay? Maybe then you can, you are able to hear us. Maybe your audio is not connected.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so children, very warm welcome once again to Demo and Interaction Program for Class 4 Science Batch 1. So as you know, Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exams. And Olympiad Success Live is India's first exclusive live classes for Olympiad preparation. Now, School Plus is one of its own annual program that includes courses, 8 courses that really matter at this point of time in your life. So these 8 courses include mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication, both spoken and written, Vedic maths, and coding. Now, in these classes, you can get one-on-one live online CBSE, ICSE, IGC, SE, and IB classes for grades 2 to 12. And apart from that, one-on-one preparation classes for international mathematics Olympiads like SASMO, CMO, HKIMO, TIMO, Math Counts, US Common Core Math Competition, Math Kangaroo, PRMO. So meet our international rank holders for the year 2021-22. These are all star performer kids. Now here you can get group sessions with around batch size of 20 students. These classes are delivered through Zoom by seasoned tutors who have significant teaching experience. You get 3 sessions per week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 5 p.m. till 6:15 p.m. That's the timing, with 5 minutes gap in between. Okay, so the flow of the session would be 35 minutes of class with 5 minutes break in between, followed by 35 minutes of class. Now, sessions would include a mix of theory, practice questions, doubt sessions, and discussion on previous year papers. So students, you get reading material and practice questions, which will be available on the dashboard of Olympiad Success. What is dashboard of Olympiad Success? Don't worry, you'll get a virtual tour very shortly by Rajan sir. And you also get free access to Olympiad Success platforms so that you can practice topic-wise mock tests for both science and reasoning. Okay. Now the syllabus is available at this link. Don't worry, all the important and relevant links have been pasted in the chat box. So you can copy paste from there. The fees for this link is, the fees for this course is 8,925 and it is going to be a 40 session course. So payment can be made using this particular link. The fees includes online classes, daily reading notes and exercises, practice of previous year papers, and access to Olympiad Success platform for science and logical reasoning. All you require for these classes is a laptop or a desktop with good internet speed, with camera, because we do not allow students without camera, without video in the class, and headphones for better audio clarity. Okay, so as you already know, and ma'am has also told us that preparation for Olympiad exams is slightly tougher than regular school curriculum. So you are required to at least spend 2 hours every day to cope up with the curriculum. And of course, parental support is required at the back end to check answer, to reiterate concepts and all. That's all. Thank you so much. And I hope that was clear. Now, Rajan sir, I would request you to give a short virtual tour of Olympiad Success Dashboard. All over to you.
Sure, ma'am. Let me share my screen with students. So students, this is the website of Olympiad Success. Okay, so once you registered with us, we will share the login credential with you. Okay, so that you can log in and check the content. Let me log in with my credential first. So this is the student profile, students. Okay, and in the live classes, you will find all the content. Let me show you. So from here, you can select the subject. Okay, and here you can select the topic. So for each and every topic, student, you will find the reading material and answer key. So like these are the reading material for the topic animal, and this is the like practice question and answer key. Let me show you one reading material, how it looks like. So this is the reading material. Okay. So for each and every chapter, you will get one reading material. Let me show you practice questions also, how it is. So this is the practice question, students. Okay. So in a similar kind, you will get the reading material and practice questions for each and every topic. Now, other than that, students, you can also check the schedule. Okay, so here you can check the schedule, like on which session, which topic we are going to cover. Let me show you how it looks like. So like in session 1, we are going to cover plants topic. In session 2, these topics from plant. This is from like session 3, session 4. And after completing a chapter, students, we are going to have one test, that is a mock test. Okay, there you can ask the doubts and we are going to discuss the test regarding this particular chapter. Now, in the end, students, like Monica ma'am also shared in the presentation, we are going to discuss previous year papers also. Okay. So after completing the classes, we have super classes. So in the super classes, so here we have 5 super classes. So in the super classes, we are going to cover previous year questions of Olympiad. Here you can check the holiday calendar, like on which day you don't have the classes. And here you will find the Zoom meeting and password to join the classes. Okay. Now, other than that, like Monica ma'am shared in the presentation, you will also get topic-wise mock test for science as well as for logical reasoning. So in the worksheet tab, you can access the mock test. Let me show you. So here you can choose the subject, that is science. So I think it's not allotted on my ID, but yeah, like let me show you for logical reasoning. So here you can like check topic wise mock test. Okay, so it shows one only because I don't get the access on my ID for now, but yeah, once you like enroll in this course, you can see like for each and every chapter. Okay, now students, this is about this dashboard. Now if anyone have any doubt or query, okay, we will take that. Do anyone have any doubt or query?
Please,
Adyasha, can you hear me now? Okay, okay, great.
please, children, don't hesitate. You can type in the chat box if you have any query. We'll be happy to answer that. This is the time to ask. Otherwise, sir is very strict. He'll ask.
So no one have any query? I think Jishnu and Riyansh get bored. They are just looking on a screen. Okay, let me ask questions, students. So just ready with the keyboard. You need to type in the chat box. Okay. So my question is that what are the days on which we have the classes? Type fast. Let's see. Who knows? The days on which we have the classes. Okay, Jishnu come up with the answer. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Is it correct or any other answer? Okay, Riyansh also Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Rishabh has also answered Monday, Wednesday,
Okay.
Friday.
Okay, Jishnu answering time also.
He knows beforehand what question is about to come.
Okay, okay. Yes, so days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Although Jishnu answered, but it is not a complete answer. Jishnu, it is AM or PM? What is the class timing? PM, yes, correct. So class timing is 5 to 6:15 PM. Okay, and how many sessions will be there? The number of sessions? 40. Yes, correct. Correct. We will have 40 session in this course. I think ma'am students are quite active today. So do we have any query or shall we start with the session? You can write yes or no. Okay, Riyansh is saying start. Okay, I think Richa ma'am, we can start with the session. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, before we start, please switch on your camera. I can see 4 of you have not switched on your camera, and I prefer seeing and looking at you while teaching. So it would be good if you can just switch on your camera, right? So that we can interact more. Now, before we start, let's me clarify something. We're going to have I have this habit of asking questions, so please be prepared to answer on the chat box. Keep your keyboards ready and your fingers agile, right? All right, as you can see, the topic for today's discussion is gonna be plants. And this is a topic that I think all of us have already read and talked about so much in our previous grades, right? So they are essential to us or not? First of all, are plants important to us? Why? Give me one primary reason why plants is very important to us. Just one. Quickly, they provide food according to Jishnu. That's why they're important, because they do photosynthesis. I'm hoping this is photosynthesis, Riyansh. Yes, so it does photosynthesis, true. Yes, they're very important to us. It provides us food, it does photosynthesis, and most of all, it gives you oxygen to breathe, fresh oxygen, right? So for the benefit for everybody, we have divided this topic of plants into 3 subcategories for the better understanding of the topic. The first being the parts of the plants, where we'll be talking about different structure and position and function and processes related to different parts of the plant in detail. Then we'll talk about adaptations in plant. Why do plants need to adapt? What is the reason? What are the factors that impact the growth of the plants? How does, weather or the climate impacts your plants? And what is the benefit of the plant? First and foremost, as the screen suggests, the first topic is parts of the plant. So very quickly, guys, tell me, what are the 2, if you broadly classify the plant into 2 categories, what are the 2 main parts of the plants? Very good, Rishabh. They are root and shoot, right? So the part of the plant which is generally above the ground and is visible to us with our naked eye is the shoot. And the part of the plant which is generally below the ground and you cannot see with your naked eye is called root. Now, if you have noticed and paid attention, you should have noticed that I said the word generally. I didn't say the word always. That's because there are exceptions to these rules. First and foremost, it's not always that your roots will be always under the ground. There are times for some special kind of plants and trees where you can see their roots because they're outside of the ground. We're going to discuss them in detail. But you guys have noticed something, that when plants grow, their roots always grow down towards the soil. Why? Why do they do so? Why do roots always grow towards the soil? What is it? Quickly. Yes, I have received answer from 2, 3. Yes, very good. That's because, you see, just like we have hands to eat our food, we grab the food, we put it on our mouth and all done. But unfortunately for plants, they don't have that kind of facility, right? They don't have any hands or feet. Do they? Has anyone seen any plants having hands or feet? No. So what they eat is water and nutrients from the soil. So how would they get it from the soil? They absorb it. For that, they have root. And root, in order to get more and more water and nutrients from the soil, keep going deeper and deeper while looking for it, while searching for it. This is known as positive geotropism. I want you to understand this term, geotropism. Geo means earth. Geotropism means when your plant is going towards the soil, towards the earth. So roots show positive geotropism. Whereas your shoots, which bears maximum parts of the plant, like your stems, flowers, leaves, fruits, buds, they grow above the ground and away from the soil. Why? Why do these shoot system of plants grow away from the soil? Because of what? What are they looking for? They're looking for light, sweethearts. They need to get as much sunlight as possible because of the part they are carrying on them. They have leaves, they have flowers which need sunlight. So they need to grow towards the light. This is known as positive phototropism. Photo means light. Phototropism. So they grow towards the light in order to get more and more sunlight. These are the reason why your stems and your shoots grow towards the sunlight and your roots grow towards the soil. Now, on the basis of the structure, what they look like, Your roots are generally divided into two main types of roots. What are they? You must have read about it in grade 3. Come on. Two main types of root system. Very good, Rishabh. They are taproot and fibrous root. And now I'm not talking about the regular tap, the faucet that you have in your kitchen and your washroom. The taproot here basically means when you have a root which has a central conical root, main root growing down, and from the sides of it, multiple smaller or lateral branches shoot out. That's your taproot. Something like this. So you have a main root like this from which multiple smaller roots are growing out. Typical example of taproots are rose, mango tree, people tree, ladyfinger. These are all your beans. These are all plants which have taproots. Whereas fibrous root is more like a mat. Have you seen a mat? The mat that we sit on, right? So it's like a mashy work. If you have not seen fibrous root in your life, I would suggest you go to park whenever you go out to play and something. Take just a small tuft of grass and pull it out. You would notice there is an entangled mass of thread, dirty brownish in color. Those are fibrous root. An excellent example of fibrous root is grass, common grass that you have in your ground, all around your homes and all. So what happens in fibrous root? You have multiple roots growing out together from a single common point from the base of the stem. So they branch out like this. Needless to say, your fibrous root are not that deep as taproot because you see they are spread out like this, whereas taproot is a single root which goes down into the ground like this. So examples of fibrous root are grass, onion, very good, Jishnu and Adyasha, very good. And your wheat, rice, banana tree, palm tree, coconut tree, these are all examples of fibrous tree. So I would suggest you should know at least 7 to 10 examples of each types of root system for Olympiad. That's important. And when we'll start the class, I'll tell you exactly which plants are important to know which type of root they have. What if I tell you other than these two roots, there is another type of root? Would you believe it? There is. That one is known as adventitious. Adventitious. Now, what does that mean? Adventitious roots are the roots which grow not from the regular space, like your, okay, I think this one is not visible here. I will just quickly tell you and then I'll show you what it looks like. So adventitious word means something that happens as an accident or random. It's just told you taproot grows from the base of the stem. Your fibrous root is also going from the base of the stem. But there are roots which grow from very random places where you don't even expect it to grow from. For example, the side of the stem, base of the stem, because of the requirement of the plant. So they are called adventitious roots. So many of you have written aerial root, which is correct. Aerial root is a type of adventitious root. They grow and out in the air. Let me just quickly check. Where is it? This is, just a second. Is it visible now? Okay. So this is adventitious root. These are some examples of adventitious root. Then banyan tree, maize, mangrove trees. Scientifically, the mangrove trees are known as rhizophora. So I'm going to tell you more about it in a while. Let's begin with your aerial roots. What are aerial roots? Can anyone tell me what does the first word come in your mind when you hear the word aerial? Aerial, not talking about any mermaid here, aerial. Aerial root, quickly guys. Aerial, obviously as the name suggests, it has something to do with air, right? Air. So it is out in the air. As I said in the beginning, roots are not always under the ground. So this one, these roots are not under the ground. They're out in open because of the specific requirement of a particular tree or a plant. They grow above the ground and they are almost always adventitious because they are not growing from the regular places. Now, since they're growing above the ground, yet they also have the same requirement, which is water. So where do they get water from? They get the water from the air surrounding it. You see inside the air, you have moisture, water vapor, the gaseous form of the water. So these roots directly absorb that moisture from the air. Now you can see one on your screen. Can you see this one? These are all roots, bache. So these are special type of plants which grow on top of other trees. So their roots hang in the air. It doesn't affect or cause problem for the host plant. It simply takes support from the host plant, and the roots simply hang in the air and absorb water from the air. Then you have banyan tree. This one, it's a very common tree. You must have seen it in your life, maybe in your neighborhood, in a park or somewhere. You would notice that it has branches like a curtain, multiple thick branches coming out from the base of the stem. These are actually these branches, and the thing that come out from the branches of the tree is your root. They grow from the base of the stem and go directly down and insert themselves in the soil. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Do they have extra root to spare that? They just want to show off? Why? Why do these roots come out? Why can't they simply stay inside the ground? Why do they grow out from this base of the stem? Think. Moisture? No, Jishnu, because they can simply grab the water from the soil. For breathing, no, Ryansh, they grow in area where there's plenty of oxygen available. They don't have that kind of problem. No, it's not accidental, Rishabh. Guys, it's because the banyan tree is huge. It's so huge that it cannot even carry its own weight. You see, the branches become so heavy that if it doesn't get support from these roots, then it will fall off. Understood? Since the branches are so heavy, so in order to bear that extra weight, they need that root. Riyansh, beta, can you please put down your query in the chat box? And I don't think we can have a discussion in the demo session, but when we'll have regular classes, you'll be allowed to speak. Understood, guys? So these are aerial roots. Now, first and foremost, we have already discussed types of roots, structures of root. Now we are going to talk about functions of root. So one, we have already discussed that your roots need to absorb water and nutrients from the soil, right? Second reason, why are roots important? Can anyone tell me? Why? Why are roots important other than them being able to absorb water and nutrient from the soil? What else do they do? Kill animals? Store food? Vishnu, but not all roots store foods. They anchor. Very good, Rishabh. Exactly. Have you seen a plant running around in the ground ever? Or a tree maybe jogging in the morning and we go out in the morning? Never. Why? Because they're stationary in one place, beta. They don't move around because they have been fixed in that one position. And this fixation, this anchoring is because of the roots. Roots keep the plant fixed to that particular position. That gives them stability. Otherwise, they'll not survive. Wind can blow them away. Right? Plants for their survival is very important. So these are two main important functions of the root, known as the primary function, anchoring and absorption. Now, there are some special type of plants which have special type of roots which can perform something extra, just like all of us here. Some of us are good in sports, some of us are good in academics, some of us are good in music, right? So plants are also like us humans. They also have speciality. So special type of plants have special types of root. For example, you see, I'll give you an example. For example, we all of us have kitchen. Our mom cooks food, and then whatever extra food is left over after we are done with eating, what does she do with it? She puts it in fridge. Plants do the same. When they prepare their food and then they are done with whatever they need to utilize from that food, the extra food they store. Where do they store? In the fruits. But there are plants who are tricky, who want to fool others. They don't store their extra food in fruits. They store their extra food in their roots. Such roots become edible roots. What does edible mean? Word edible, E-D-I-B-L-E. What does it mean? Quickly, put it in the chat box. Very good, Rishabh, Jishnu. Girls, hurry up. Nishida, Hasini, Shubhangi, Nikita, Adyasha, hurry up, girls. Boys are winning the race. Yes, they are eatable. Edible means something you can eat. So these roots become edible for them. Why? Because plants have stored their extra food. Can anyone give me the example of edible roots? The roots that you can eat. It's not like I can go out in my garden and can eat the roots of all the plants that I have there, can I? No, I can't. I'll fall sick. Yes, I have carrot, I have radish, I have turnip. Very good. And anything else? We have beetroot, we have sweet potatoes, right? I'll show you more in a while. Other than that, as you can see this picture, look at it very carefully. You will notice that the roots are very much joined together with the, they have embedded in the soil. So I'll give you two scenario kids. You have two pieces of land. Soil is present in both of them. Your roots are going in one soil, in one particular sand. You have a plants growing there. Other one doesn't have any plant. Now what happens when the plants grow? Their roots grab the soil particles together, make it strong. Now in case like this one has plant, the roots have grabbed the soil particles like this. This one doesn't have any plant, the soil is loose. Now in case of any natural calamity, let's say there is an earthquake or there is heavy rainfall, where do you think soil is more easy to erode away? Where it can slip off easily? In this A or in this B? Which position soil is more easy to erode off? A or B? Quickly, I want everyone to answer this. B, exactly, all of you, correct. Why? Because there is nothing which is holding it together. So it can easily fall off. What plants root do, they grab the soil particles, keep them together so that nothing can remove the soil easily. That way your soil remains protected. This is called soil conservation. The roots are helping in conserving your soil. Aerial roots, we have already discussed. Last is respiratory roots. When your roots help the plant to breathe. What are they? I'll just show you. First, let me show you the modification in roots. You see, kids, I am very fond of music. So how do I learn? I have to modify myself. I have to change myself to become better at it, right? So plants also, because of their need, modify themselves, modify their roots to fulfill those needs. When they want to store extra food, they change their shape. The thing that you see on your screen is the modification in the roots of the plants of the taproot system, where they need to modify in order to store that extra food. These are four main types of structure or what they look like when the taproot store the food. When they store food in conical form, which is broad at the top, and then it tapers down gradually, it's conical, like you see in carrot. Carrot, if you've seen, that's typically conical shape. This one is fusiform. It is wider in the middle, narrower at the both sides. Fusiform, radish. Napiform. Napiform is spherical at the top. And then it just has a tail like this one that you can see in beetroot. Have you seen a beetroot in real life? If not, I would ask you to go back and ask your mom to buy it for salad. You can have it. It's good for health. It's typically napiform. And lastly, we have tuberous, which is like, they don't have a very proper structure. It is just something swelled up. It can be swelling at the top or the bottom, anywhere. These are all modification in taproot to store their extra food. And just like how taproot modify themselves, fibrous root also modify themselves to store that extra food. When they have no structure, they are called tuberous, like in case of sweet potato. When they are clustered and joined together, this is fasciculated, like in asparagus. That's a kind of a vegetable we eat. Moneriform, this one looks like beads. Beads. You find them in bitter gourd, the Karela that we eat. They have such kind of root. Now look, this one, this look like a necklace, right? Annulated. So there is a plant called ipecac, which is basically used for making medicine. This one has it. And lastly, this is nodulose. This one is very interesting. This type of root can be seen in plants called mango ginger. Now the name is very contrary, right? We have mango and we have ginger. It looks like ginger, but it tastes like mango. Right? Now, what type of tree is this? Has anyone seen this in grade 3 maybe? Has anyone in your class, in your school discussed about it? If you have appeared for grade 3 exam, you may have known about it. Maybe you're not familiar with its structure, but the name is mangrove tree. Mangrove tree. When your plants need to breathe, you see there are areas which are known as marshy area. Does anyone know marshy area? What is it supposed to be? A marshy area? Very good, Rishabh. Yes. They're a little bit different from swamp exactly. Marshy areas are basically the areas which have standing water or water logged in them all throughout the year. That means they have water throughout the year on that soil. So you generally see them at the side of a lake or a pond. Now, the problem with these areas is, good Soumya, that their soil is clay. It is very fine and very close to each other. They don't let any air come in between the particles. So the plant roots are not able to breathe. You see, the plant also need to breathe. And unlike the normal thinking that plants only need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, no, they do need oxygen to breathe. In order to breathe, these roots come out. They are the roots, actually, this mumble jumble that you see. They are called pneumatophores. Yes, clay soil, Rishabh. Pneumatophores. They are typically seen. They are also, in easier word, respiratory roots. Respiratory roots, breathing roots, pneumatophores. They are all one and the same thing. And they belong to the tree called mangrove tree, which grows in marshy area. And lastly, roots need to change themselves to support the plant. As I said, banyan tree, the roots grow from the base of the stem, grow directly downwards, attach themselves to the ground in order to support the tree. Do you know any other tree which has such kind of root? This is called prop root or stilt root. Do you know any other tree which has prop root? Rubber tree. Just like banyan tree, your rubber tree also has such kind of roots. Then you have sugarcane and maize. They are typically very weak plant. You see, they're not very strong, as you can see here. So what happens? The roots start growing out from this area. This is root budding out from the stem, side of the stem. Now, what is the difference between the two? Okay, if you look at the picture, we see the difference between the two. Look carefully. It's like spot the difference. Now, this one is more straight. It is coming vertically down straight. These one are more like a tent shape, A shape. They grow like this. But their function is same. Both of them support their tree or their plant. Stilt root and prop root. Clear? Very good, Rishabh. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? Hasini, Adyasha, Shubhangi, Raj, Mudra, Naren, Nishida, any doubt, bacha? All right. So this is again a very interesting type of root. This one is seen in the forest areas where there are lots of trees, lots of big, huge trees, but their root is not very deep. They are very shallow and they're right on the top of the soil. Now what happens? I'll show you one. You have a tree like this one. Its root is not deep. What will happen? It will topple down. So what happens? Their roots grow thick, and spread out on the ground like this, so that the root doesn't fall, the tree doesn't fall off easily. To support it, this is known as buttress root. Buttress root. They don't grow in water exactly, they grow in rainforest area, beta. So where the roots are not deep, they support the plant. Now this is something we all know. Types of plants according to the stem they have. I want everybody to quickly answer this one. Which particular, what do you call the plant which has very strong, bushy stem? It's hard, it's bushy, it's brown in color. What is the difference between tree and the shrub? It's called shrub. Shrub has the bushy stem. Tree have proper trunk, it's thick. Right? It's woody, it's thick. Shrub is also woody, but it is bushy, right? They are able to stand on their own. Then you have herb. What type of stems do herbs have? Quickly, what type of stems do herbs have? They have soft, they are weak, they are delicate, but still they are stronger than the stems of these two, creepers and climbers. Their stem is so weak that they literally have to take support either from a tree or a wall or another plant or ground to grow. Now, my quick question. As you can see, one of them grow along the wall, other one grow on the ground. Why? Why can't these one also grow along the wall like this one is growing? The typical example of climber is a money plant that you have at home. Sometimes some of us do have it at home. They grow along the wall very nicely. But creepers like your watermelon and pumpkin, they don't grow along the wall. Why? One creep, other crawl, but why? They can't bear the weight of what? Just you're right, but they can't bear the weight of what? Exactly. You see, the stems of both the plants are very weak, but the difference lies in their fruit. The creepers, the crawlers, their fruit is so heavy. I've shown you for the example, the watermelon, your pumpkin, they're very strong, very, very big, huge. How can they grow along the wall? They will drop off easily. So they grow along the ground. Yes. Now, why is stem important, people? Why is stem important? Other than, bearing the weight of the plant, what else they do? What else they do for you? They transport food. Very good. You see, we have two different parts of the plant. One is absorbing water and nutrient from the soil. That's your root. Other one is preparing food. That's your leaves. There is an exchange of food and water throughout the plant, which is being done by the stems. So they are very important to us. Other than that, they also support the weight of the plant. Now, the leaves which prepare the food for the plant are known as the kitchen of the plant. Now, why are they able to do so? Because it has all the requirements to prepare the food. First and foremost, it has chlorophyll. You see, the green color that your leaves have is because of this pigment called chlorophyll. Now, it's not just the chlorophyll, the name itself is suffice. It's because chlorophyll has the ability to grab or trap the sunlight which plants need for their photosynthesis. So as soon as your leaves receive the sunlight, these chlorophyll trap the sunlight. They do not let that sunlight go away. And they trap it, which is used, the sunlight is used by the plants to prepare the food. Not all the plants have leaves, right? For example, cacti, they don't have leaves, but they have stems, which is green in color. So they prepare their food in their stems. Why? Because their stems have this pigment called chlorophyll, right? But there is a typical type of plant. We call it a plant, but actually it's not a plant. It's a fungus, mushroom. They neither have stem nor have any leaves, nothing. So where will they store their chlorophyll? Nowhere. So how do they get their food? How? Yes, Shranshi, please write it down, sweetheart. And the rest, everybody else. How do mushrooms get their food? They don't have stems, they don't have leaves, they don't have anywhere to store chlorophyll. So where do they get their? Very good, Naren, Rishabh, Jishnu, very good. It is from the dead and decaying plants and animals in their vicinity, in their surrounding. They get their food and their nutrition from that. Yes, very good, Adyasha. So mushrooms are not exactly plants, beta. They are not capable of producing their own food. They get it from rotten, very good, Nishida Nikita, from dead animals and dead plants. So this is your photosynthesis. As the name suggests, photo and synthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means preparing. So the process of preparation of food by the plants in the presence of sunlight, which is trapped by the chlorophyll, water, which they get from the soil, carbon dioxide, which they get from the air, is called as photosynthesis. Then the food they prepare is in the form of glucose. And as a byproduct, side product is oxygen, which they don't need. They release it out and we happily grab it because we need it for our survival. Shranshi, we don't eat all type of mushrooms. Shranshi's question is that if mushrooms are, literally dependent on dead and decaying animals and plants, and if we eat them, we will fall sick. It's not so. It's not applicable. If suppose we have 100 types of mushroom, not all of them are poisonous. There are mushrooms which are poisonous, but we only eat specific type of mushroom which are not poisonous and are edible. Good enough. In fact, they are a good source of protein. Mushroom is known as saprophytes, beta. S-P-R-O-P-H-Y-T-E-S. For easier version, you can say fungus. Okay. So saprophytes or fungus, that's what your mushrooms are. Clear? Photosynthesis is clear? Everybody? Now, one of you asked the question, for croton plants, they don't have green leaves. That's true. Croton plants, if you have seen, they have reddish leaves. But that doesn't mean they don't do photosynthesis. That means they have other color pigment, which is giving the color red to their leaves. But they do have green pigments, chlorophyll inside it. So they are more than capable of producing their own food. So crotons are very much doing the photosynthesis, even though they are reddish in color. Now, how will I prove this? If suppose I have a plant at home and I want to check if it is photosynthesizing or not. What if it's not working? Like, just like you give exam. Hi, Janshi. So just like how you give exam and you appear for exam and you test, right? So how would I check? I will simply pluck some leaves, wash them nicely, boil them in normal water, then take some alcohol, ethyl alcohol, boil them in it, let it cool down, take it out, and then pour some drops of iodine solution. Now, let me tell you something about iodine solution. Iodine solution is a chemical agent, beta, which is reddish brown in color. It has a beautiful property that once it meets the iodine, it meets the starch. This iodine, when it meets the starch, the color of the iodine solution from reddish brown changes into bluish black. Now, what is starch? Starch is the complex form of glucose. When plants produce their food, it is produced as glucose. But just like how when we wear clothes, we wear it one by one. But when we are putting them in our closet, we stack them up, one on the top of the other, right? So similarly, when plants produce their food, they produce it as glucose. When they store it, they put it one on the top of the other, they make a chain of it. That's called starch. So when you add iodine solution to the plant leaf, which has already been boiled, washed in alcohol, what happens? If the color of the leaf changes into this color, which is bluish black, that means this leaf has starch. That means this leaf was doing photosynthesis. Just like how when you appear for exam and you appear for a test, you score full marks. What does that show? That you have been studying about the test, right? About the class, about the topic. Similarly, when the color of the leaf changes from red, after adding the iodine, it turns into bluish red, bluish black. That means the plant had starch in it. That means it was doing photosynthesis. This particular test is very important from the point of view of an Olympiad test, iodine test for grade 4. Clear? Anyone has any doubt about iodine test? Please raise your hand. I'll repeat. All right. Now comes the beautiful part of the plant, the one which attracts us all to the plant, the flowers. They are called the reproductive organ of the plant because it has both the male and the female organ in it. There is a male part in your flower, there is a female part. We will discuss this further when we'll start our regular classes. Your flowers are very interesting because you see they have different colors. You can have red color flowers like rose, yellow like marigold, like sunflower. They can be very fragrant like lily and jasmine, or they may not have any smell at all like hibiscus. They may look like a bell, like your bellflower, or a cup like a tulip. Now, on your screen, extreme left, you have world's largest flower. What is that? Rafflesia arnoldii. This beautiful flower, I'm calling it beautiful, but actually it's not very beautiful. It can grow up to 3 meters, very huge. They typically grow in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand. Now they are known as corpse flower. Why? Because they smell like a dead body. So they are very pungent smell, very, very pungent smell. And why do they do so? Because they want to attract the insects for pollination. And this one is world's smallest flower, watermeal. You can see on your fingers, you can hold so many of them together. So look at the difference in the size. That's how different flowers can be from each other. Right? Interesting. Yes, that's one and the same thing, Rishabh. That's one and the same thing, sweetheart. And your flowers can have different uses other than, besides looking so pretty and beautiful. They can be used for making perfume. They can be used for making medicinal things, like you have your marigold and juhi flowers. You can use them to make different medicines for your stomach ailments, other ailments. You can use them for decoration. You can make tea out of them, like chrysanthemum. It's very popular in China. People love it. And then your honeybees collect their food from the flowers. You can make colors out of it, which you use to dye your clothes. Your flowers turn into fruits. But this process of pollination, we'll discuss in our regular classes. And sometimes the flowers are simply edible. You can simply eat them. How many of you have tried it? Banana flower or sargent flower? Coffee and oil, they are more from the seeds and the beans, bache, not from the flower exactly. Yes, you can actually eat the banana flower. Though I didn't like the taste of it, I have tried it. Now, if it is clear to you all, please raise your hand. All of it. All right. Then if you are clear with it, then you should be able to answer this. I want everybody to, let me show that slide again. By mistake, I stopped it again. Here. Try answering this. You have 2 questions. Quickly. Let me see who's the first one. Directly to me if possible. Please read the question carefully. I'll explain the question. You have set up an experiment. You have a plant. You took some leaves and put black cloth on top of it, in the middle of it. For some, you put a polythene around it with carbon dioxide absorbent. That means no carbon dioxide can reach these leaves. And then you have regular green leaves. Then you perform the iodine solution test, the iodine test that I talked about. Which one will show complete positive test? 1, 2, 3. Which one? One is the leaves with black strip in the middle. Second is the leaf with carbon dioxide absorbent. And third, regular green leaf. So I've received answer only from Rishabh, Shubhangi. I'm waiting for others quickly. If you are clear with the topic, you should be able to answer. Very good. All of you are absolutely correct. Yashuvan, Jishnu, Nishida. It has to be 3. Why? Because regular leaves can only show the positive test. If it has black strip in the middle, that means that much particular area will not get sunlight and it will not be able to produce food, not do photosynthesis. It needs to have access to the sunlight, right? Now, question number 2. You have 2 plants, X and Y. Both don't have any leaves, but X can make its own food because it has stems, whereas Y has to depend on other plants and animals for nutrition. Which one is X? Which one is Y? Choose 1 or 2. Jishnu, I want you to check your answer again. Piyush, Rishabh, correct. X has stems and Y has to depend on dead and decaying plants and animals for much further nutrition. So Y has to be the mushroom because they don't have stem, they don't have any leaves, right? All of you are absolutely correct. And X has to be the cacti because even though it doesn't have leaves, it does have stems, which is green in color as you can make out from here. So they are capable of producing their own food. So X is cacti, Y is mushroom. Correct, Hasini? Any doubt, guys? Is it clear? All right. Yes, Rishabh, you have a doubt? Okay. Rajan sir, are you there?
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are done
Thank you,
with the
ma'am, for the demo. So students, how was it? Do you like the demo? Okay, thank you. So thank you students for joining today and thank you Richa ma'am for the wonderful session. And now students, we will meet you in the live classes, okay? Okay, bye everyone. Okay, we got very nice. Okay, thank you Nishida.
Okay, see you later, guys. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye everyone.
Bye.